What if the ocean, with all its beauty and vastness, is more than just a physical realm? What if it's a place where time loses its grip, where the past lingers like a shadow, and the dead are never truly gone? Imagine you're out at sea, the horizon endless, the water calm. But then, something appears, a ship, ghostly and silent, with no sign of life. You can't look away. It's as if the ship itself is staring back at you, with secrets too dark and too deep to ever be spoken. These are the ghost ships, vessels, cursed to sail the seas forever, carrying with them the weight of untold tragedies. Today, we're not just recounting stories, we're diving into the very essence of the mysteries that refuse to die, the ghosts that still haunt the open waters. Our first ghost ship is a legend that has sailed through the centuries in both fear and fascination, the Flying Dutchman. This cursed vessel is doomed to sail the oceans for eternity, never to make port, never to find rest. The story begins in the 17th century with a Dutch captain, some say his name was Hendrik van der Decken, who defied a furious storm near the Cape of Good Hope. He vowed to round the cape no matter what, even if it took him until the end of time. His defiance was met with a curse, eternal damnation for him and his crew, condemned to sail the seas forever, a ghostly ship lost to time. The Flying Dutchman has been sighted by sailors from all over the world. They describe it as a spectral ship, glowing with an eerie light. It sails full even in a dead calm. Some claim to have seen the ghostly crew on deck, forever trapped in their tragic fate. A notable account came from King George V, who, while serving as a young naval officer in 1881, reported seeing the Phantom ship off the coast of Australia. He described it as a strange red light, as of a phantom ship all aglow. But to see the Flying Dutchman is more than just a strange occurrence. It's a sign, a warning that death is near. For centuries, this legend has struck fear into the hearts of seafarers, a reminder that the sea is a force not to be trifled with. But what is the truth behind the Flying Dutchman? Could this be merely a maritime myth, a tale told by sailors to pass the time on long voyages? Or is there something more sinister lurking beneath the waves? Some historians believe that the legend may have been inspired by real-life events, perhaps a ship that disappeared during a violent storm and was later spotted, its crew long dead, but still adrift. Others speculate that the Flying Dutchman is a reflection of sailors' fears and superstitions, a manifestation of the dangers they face on the open sea. Whatever the truth may be, the Flying Dutchman remains one of the most enduring and chilling legends of the sea. To this day, it's said that seeing the ship is a harbinger of doom, a sign that disaster is imminent. The next time you find yourself sailing through a storm, keep an eye on the horizon. You never know what might be watching you from the shadows. Next, we journey into the icy, unforgiving waters of the Arctic, where the SS Bimo still drifts, lost to time and nature. The Bimo was a cargo ship built to brave the frozen seas, but in October 1931, it became trapped in the pack ice off the coast of Alaska. The crew, thinking the ship was doomed, abandoned her, leaving her to the mercy of the relentless ice. But the Bimo had other plans. Days after it was abandoned, the ship was spotted drifting through the ice, empty but eerily intact. For decades, the Bimo was sighted again and again, a ghost ship wandering through the Arctic wilderness, always alone, always just out of reach. In one instance, in 1933, a group of Inupiat hunters found the Bimo frozen in the ice, boarded her, and sheltered there for 10 days during a storm, reporting a sense of dread as if they weren't truly alone. Those who saw her described a sense of unease, as if the ship was not just lost, but somehow aware of its fate, cursed to wander the frozen seas forever. Attempts to salvage the Bimo failed, as if the ship itself was determined to remain lost, a spectral reminder of the dangers of the frozen north. The last sighting was in 1969, nearly 40 years after she was abandoned. What happened to the SS Bimo? Some say she was finally claimed by the ice, sinking into the depths where no one will ever find her. Others believe she still drifts somewhere out there, a ghost ship, cursed to wander the Arctic seas for eternity, a chilling testament to the power of the frozen wilds. But the story of the Bimo isn't just about a ship lost to time. It's about the harsh realities of the Arctic, where nature's grip is unyielding and survival is never guaranteed. The Bimo serves as a reminder of the fragility of human endeavors against the backdrop of an unforgiving world where even the most well-prepared can fall victim to forces beyond their control. Next, we sail to the rugged coast of Vancouver Island, where the haunting tale of the SS Valencia continues to send shivers down the spines of those who hear it. This passenger steamer, lost in the deadly waters of Pixabay, has been the subject of ghostly sightings for over a century. But what makes the story of the SS Valencia truly terrifying is the lingering presence of the ship, seemingly caught between the world of the living and the dead. The SS Valencia was a passenger steamer that met a tragic end off the coast of Vancouver Island, British Columbia, in January 1906. The ship was en route from San Francisco to Seattle when it encountered severe weather. The storm drove the ship off course, and she struck a reef near Pixabay. The impact tore open the ship's hull, and water began flooding the compartments. As the ship began to sink, the lifeboats were deployed, but the rough seas made it nearly impossible for them to launch successfully. Out of the 108 passengers and crew on board, only 37 survived. The wreck of the SS Valencia became one of the most infamous maritime disasters in Pacific Northwest history, but it's what happened afterward that cemented its place as a ghost ship legend. For years after the disaster, sailors reported seeing a phantom ship resembling the SS Valencia still clinging to the rocks of Pixabay. Lifeboats, eerily similar to the ones that vanished during the wreck, were seen floating near the site, with ghostly figures rowing them. In 1910, 4 years after the tragedy, the crew of a salvage tug claimed they saw the SS Valencia drifting silently in the bay, with figures standing motionless on the deck before the ship vanished into the mist. The SS Valencia's wreckage was eventually found, but not all the lifeboats or bodies were recovered. The phantom sightings of the Valencia continue to this day, leading many to believe that the souls of the lost passengers and crew are still trying to complete their doomed voyage. Our next ghost ship tale takes us to the treacherous waters of the English Channel, where the Lady Lloyd has been seen sailing under the most tragic of circumstances. The story of this cursed schooner, doomed by jealousy and betrayal, is one that reappears every 50 years as if the ship is trapped in a cycle of eternal despair. Let's dive into the chilling legend of the Lady Lloyd, where love and loss converge in a haunting maritime mystery. The ship was a schooner that set sail on February 13, 1748, from London, heading for Oporto, Portugal. The Lady Lloyd was on a celebratory voyage, as the ship's captain, Simon Reed, had just been married, and he brought his new bride along for the journey. Unbeknownst to Reed, his first mate, John Rivers, was also in love with the captain's bride. Overcome with jealousy and rage, Rivers waited until the captain was distracted and then steered the ship directly into the treacherous Goodwin Sands, a notorious stretch of sandbanks in the English Channel. The ship struck the sands and quickly sank, taking the lives of everyone on board. The tragedy was further steeped in mystery when, exactly 50 years later, on February 13, 1798, sailors claimed to have seen the Lady Lloyd sailing again in the same waters, glowing with an eerie green light. The ghostly ship was said to reappear every 50 years, a spectral reminder of the betrayal and tragedy that led to its doom. The legend of the Lady Lloyd has persisted for centuries, with sightings reported in 1848 and 1948. Some believe that the ship is cursed, doomed to sail the Goodwin Sands every 50 years for eternity, while others think it's a romantic ghost story, an eternal voyage for a love that was doomed from the start. Our final tale takes us to the treacherous waters off the coast of North Carolina, known as the Graveyard of the Atlantic. Here lies the story of the Carol A. Deering, a 5-masted schooner found run aground on the Diamond Shoals in 1921. The ship was deserted, her lifeboats missing, her crew vanished without a trace. But what makes this story truly haunting is the eerie state in which the ship was found. The galley was discovered with a meal prepared but uneaten, as if the crew had left in a hurry. The ship's logbook, navigation equipment, and lifeboats were gone, but there were no signs of struggle or violence. Theories about the fate of the Carol A. Deering's crew range from piracy to mutiny and even to paranormal explanations involving the Bermuda Triangle. However, none of these theories have ever been proven, leaving the fate of the crew a mystery. One particularly strange detail emerged from an interview with a fisherman who had sailed near the Diamond Shoals days before the Deering was discovered. He claimed to have seen a crew of men on the deck of a schooner, waving frantically, but when he tried to approach, the ship vanished in the mist. Could this have been the crew of the Deering, lost in time and space, trying desperately to signal for help? The ship's eerie state and the unexplained disappearance of her crew have led some to speculate that the Carol A. Deering fell victim to a supernatural force. Could it be that the ship was caught in a time slip, a place where the boundaries between past, present, and future are blurred? Or perhaps the ship encountered a rogue wave, a sudden massive wall of water that swept the crew overboard in an instant. But even this theory doesn't explain why the crew would have left their meal uneaten, or why there were no signs of a struggle. The Carol A. Deering has become a symbol of the mysteries of the sea, a ghost ship run aground, but forever adrift in the minds of those who seek to uncover her secrets. The ship's wreckage was eventually salvaged, but the mystery of what happened to her crew remains unsolved. These ghost ships, each with their own tragic and mysterious tale, continue to drift through the oceans, serving as haunting reminders of the dangers that the sea still holds. They are more than just ships, they are the echoes of the past, carrying with them the unresolved mysteries of those who dared to challenge the depths and lost. What do you think caused these ships to become ghostly legends? Are they merely the result of human error and the unpredictable nature of the sea, or is there something more supernatural at play? Have you ever encountered something strange while out at sea? Perhaps a ship that seemed to vanish into thin air, or an eerie presence you couldn't quite explain? Share your theories, experiences, and stories in the comments below. Your insights might just unlock new secrets of the ocean's dark history. If you've been captivated by these tales of the sea's haunted history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more journeys into the unknown. The ocean is vast, and who knows what other secrets lie beneath its surface. Until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon and beware of the ships that sail with no living soul aboard. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next video.